Well, our moms think we're funny.
So one of the major plot things though is that Steppenwolf is here on Earth to get the mother. So the first mother box is called to him. So I guess we need to go back to BVS. The movie starts off with Superman being killed and screaming, and his scream sends out this shockwave. That's the bell that Luthor was talking about. How the bell's been rung, you can't unring it, and that was a shockwave to kind of say that this planet no longer has a protector.
Yeah.
And that bell activated the first mother box. And so that drew Steppenwolf there to find the other mother boxes. Now, I'm going to say, as much as I love the Snyder Cut, and I'm going to probably watch it again fairly soon, as much as I love the Snyder Cut, though, there is one major part of it that I absolutely hate. I'll talk about that later. But there's one part you and I talked about last night that I absolutely hate about the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
So Steppenwolf shows up.
What I hate most about it is that Amber Heard's in it, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, you couldn't not take her out because
I could have.
Well, I mean, it would cost even more to have to remove her and put somebody else in, but the Steppenwolf is there, and he's disgraced. He's been disgraced because he at some point turned on Darkseid, and he has to conquer. I don't know how many he was originally punished with, but he still has 50,000 more worlds to conquer before Darkseid will even listen to his plea for forgiveness.
Yeah,
which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's wild.
So he's there to collect the mother boxes, and he gets the first one, and he talks to Desaad, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And his whole thing with that, and of course he's got his this really cool badass suit. One great thing in it is there's no the parademons feed on fear thing and them turning against him.
Yeah, because that was my big criticism of the ending, was that whole thing was stupid.
That was so fucking stupid.
It was stupid as hell, and they took every trace of it out, and I couldn't be happier about that.
It's because, with the exception of, obviously, if I'm going to use a gun to attack somebody, but even if I'm going to use a gun, I'm going to probably try to wear some kind of armor, bulletproof vest or something to protect myself, because probably someone else is using the gun, or in case I lose the gun, someone tries to shoot me.
Yeah, but getting shot really hurts.
Right.
So,
but if you are some kind of hero or whatever, whatever your ability is, or if you lead an army of people, you would not give them a weapon that's capable of harming you. That's not how that works. So why would I, why would I have these people that will feed on fear and could possibly turn against me? It's just dumb.
So should we talk about Darkseid a little bit?
Well, that's what I was going to get to, is that so the Steppenwolf's whole thing is he's trying to redeem himself. And he has a dark side, and the first mother box calls to him and all that kind of stuff. And then we see that when they do the flashback to the mother box and all that stuff, it's not Steppenwolf who came to Earth, it was Darkseid.
Right.
And watching Darkseid do his shit is just beautiful.
It was really cool. Now, I do want to complain a little bit because he didn't use his Omega beams during that.
That is true.
And to me, I think of Darkseid, I think of Injustice 2, where he keeps his hands behind his back the whole time, his back is ramrod straight, he fights with the Omega beams. And that I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of. Now, I will say that when Cyborg has this vision of the future and he sees Darkseid killing all the members of the Justice League,
yes,
you have a beautiful shot with the Omega beams when he's fighting Aquaman.
Yeah, you do. That was great.
That was really, really cool, because it was so dismissive. And that's the way I always picture Darkseid. He's got the guy pinned against the wall, he's holding him by the throat, and then the Omega beams just trace around and hit somebody behind him. It's that was really cool.
That was nice.
I really, really liked that. But I would have liked to have seen that during, the big war scene.
I guess I'm going to have to just get to the part that I really hate, the part that we both really hate about the Snyder Cut, is that, because it ties directly in what you're saying about the Omega Beam. I don't want to give away too much with the Omega Beam, because you expect to see that in the big fight with Darkseid, which you're not going to get, because the big fight with Darkseid doesn't come until the next movie, which we're not going to get. That's the thing I hate about this movie, is that it's so good, and it leads us to this point where Darkseid is about to come to Earth. No, is it Darkseid, right? It's Darkseid, all of his, I'm assuming they're hunger dogs or parademons, one of them. So his army, Desaad, and Granny Goodness. And Granny Goodness standing right there. My only complaint is Granny Goodness was not fat enough.
Right.
But he's gonna bring Granny Goodness and Desaad to Earth, and he's gonna come there with his army, and they're gonna fight because one thing we find out, Steppenwolf finds out and tells them, and when he tells them, like, Darkseid appears and talks to him personally, where he's been ignoring him all this time.
I love that elicited a response from both of us when it happened.
Yes.
It's like, we just thought, oh yeah, Desaad just kind of hung up on him, and then Darkseid steps out, we're both like, oh, fuck!
Is the anti-life equation is on Earth. And so Darkseid is coming there, and the heroes think that everything is all cool in the gang, they've won, and they're like, yeah, no, we're going there because they don't know anything about the anti-life equation, the heroes don't, and they think, oh, hey, we won, we stopped this, and we're, yay, good, kudos for us. And like, no, you didn't win. The fight just started, and but we're not going to get that. Yeah, so
this sets up like 3 or 4 future movies. Yeah, like they could have really taken this far, but instead they got their Christmas bonuses, and now this is all we're going to get out of it, and it makes me mad.
Now, to be fair though, they did give Snyder like $75 million extra dollars.
They did do that
to finish the movie. And they did reshoots.
If they gave him that, imagine how much their Christmas bonuses were.
Well, the HBO Max, quote unquote, gave him that. Yeah. But, I mean, and they did do reshoots and stuff, so not all this was entirely what was originally, I guess, filmed.
Yeah. But no, there had to be new stuff with it.
But I think this was the original vision.
Yeah, like I kept saying with the initial thing that I wish they had used Martian Manhunter instead of Cyborg, and they actually brought Martian Manhunter in, but unfortunately it was just like a very, very brief cameo. Like, I think he has about a grand total of 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, as Martian Manhunter he does have about 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, which kind of sucks, because he looks good.
So that brings me to another point, which is Martian Manhunter's an asshole. So there's a scene where Lois is talking to Martha Kent, and so Martha shows up at her house, at her apartment, and she's talking to her, and she's telling her, I lost the farm, and I had to move, and she's like, well, you can stay here, and she's like, oh no, I'm fine, I found a place closer to the cafe where I work, and this and that, and they talk, there's a little conversation. Martha leaves, and then Martha, when she leaves, she then turns and she changes into Martian Manhunter. And then changes from Martian Manhunter into the General.
Yeah.
Not the guy that tries to sell you car insurance. The guy from Batman vs Superman and from Man of Steel. The black general guy, I forget his name, General Kensington or something like that, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, turns into him. So he has been Martian Manhunter the whole time. So later on, which is not shown, but later on, Lois is going to have a conversation with Martha, or she's going to have a conversation with Clark and be like, yeah, your mom came by and saw me, and we talked and stuff after your death, and it was really sweet, and, she told me about losing the farm, and he's like, really? So then he's going to be like, yeah, she told me about the time you came to her apartment. I've never been to her apartment, Clark. Or Lois and Martha can be talking to me like, it really meant a lot to me when you came by and talked to me. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. But like, look, don't fucking gaslight me, bitch, right? You may be his mother, but I'm the one who gives him pussy. So let's be honest here, right?
Gaslighting? Are you making up words again? You didn't have any idea how crazy you sound? Gaslighting?
Bruce told me all about his future dream, and it wasn't save Martha, okay? It was save Lois. She's the key. So don't piss me off, bitch. But
now I did like the future vision, which maybe I'm jumping too far ahead on that,
but that part, I mean, it's really cool, but you're creating a problem there.
You're making us want more when there's not going to be more.
When I was talking about the whole Martian Manhunter pretending to be somebody, and then you're going to end up having an argument later. That's always going to come up later. Even if they both be like, okay, whatever. You say you didn't show up, you say you did, whatever, fine.
He probably gleaned some kind of perverse pleasure out of that.
Yeah. But it was cool to see Martian Manhunter, and then see him again at the end when he talks to Bruce Wayne, who is so nonplussed. I love that. And he's just like, because you can see he's kind of like surprised, but at the same time he's like, so we got this league. If you want to join it, meetings are on Wednesdays.
You could use the help.
Yeah, there's coffee and donuts if you eat that sort of thing. Sorry, borrowing a little bit from Falcon there. But he's so like nonplussed. I think that's so funny.
At that point, it's got to be old hat where it's like, oh, of course, why not a Martian? Like, okay, well, I've met gods and angels and other aliens. Why not this?
At the end of the movie, because there's no like weird like Russian family.
Yeah.
There's no. We stopped everything, and it turned like all these. There's no like purple energy tendrils that are like reaching out trying to take this stuff over.
Yeah.
None of that exists. So there's no like weird flowers like that are growing. That would only be like oh hey, guess what, people, we're like the CDC. We're gonna have to come in there and we're gonna have to examine all this stuff, and then we also want to see if these have any potentials for making like really good drugs to get high to cure diseases from. So, so like none of that happens, which is great. I'm glad that that tacked on happy ending kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I'm so glad they took all that shit out.
I feel like we're bouncing around so much.
We are, yeah. Which I wasn't really too intent on trying to like be perfectly sequential.
So they do a really good job of, like I said, of kind of really fleshing out the Flash and making him seem more of like a real person. And in the end, do we want to talk about the end scene with the Flash?
Yeah, we can.
So the heroes lose. They're trying to separate the mother boxes, and in order for them to do that, they have to give it they need some kind of like electrical charge to keep them from, because the mother boxes are going to merge into one mother box. It's the singularity, and when that happens, that's when Darkseid's going to come and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Cyborg's trying to separate them, and the Flash is running around building up this charge. He's supposed to go in there and hit, zap it, and then they'll be able to separate them. But because the Flash gets shot and falls, he loses the charge, and he's not able to. The mother boxes merge together, and then that's that.
Mm-hmm.
So then the Flash, after he heals himself, and he's like, you got to heal. And he, basically forces himself to heal because, he's got that, it's not just that he moves fast, but everything about him kind of moves fast. So he has accelerated healing. In this case, he just kind of focuses and ramps that up some. But he also says, I've got to run faster than I've ever run before. And he runs back in time, which is kind of awesome because like things that were like exploded, you see him running, and it's like, it's weird when you first see it because he's running on nothing, but then the ground starts to form beneath him, and then you realize that he's running back in time. So it's like he's running backwards, and like almost like the explosion is moving backwards.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really well done.
And so when you see that though, you also kind of get the understanding of the whole warning scene from the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do go into the future, the post-apocalyptic future, because Cyborg sees that, right?
Yeah.
When Cyborg is trying to stop the boxes from merging, he sees the future that will come if these things merged.
Yep.
And I'll let you talk about that.
Well, I was thinking more of like the future at the ending with like the after credits scene.
Right. Well,
technically the after credits scene. But...
Right, but I was because that comes from the other thing as well. It's just kind of like making that bridge there for you.
Yeah. So I really liked that ending scene, except for the fact that Amber Heard was in it. But
right.
Like they could have done without her. But a lot of people have given Jared Leto a shit time about his role as the Joker in Suicide Squad,
which I don't get.
I don't get it either. I thought he did just fine. For like the element of the Joker that he was trying to represent, I thought he did really good.
I thought he was great.
He's like, more than any other Joker, he represents like violence and volatility.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've talked about that a million times, so I won't rehash it. But I thought that his appearance here was going to be really cheesy because in the little teaser thing where they show it, they just have him do like a meme reference, and he's like, "We live in a society," and it was like, "Oh my god, they're doing that shit. They're doing the 'We live in a society' meme." But then, like, they didn't have that. in the final thing, and it's actually like it's a beautifully tense scene. He's just obviously completely unhinged. It's not the same type of Joker that we see in Suicide Squad. Same actor, but not the same type of Joker. He's just like it's obvious that he's aware that the world is broken, and he's just kind of basking in it, and he keeps taunting and teasing Batman, and really just kind of wants Batman to kill him. And there's a really nice exchange between Bruce and the Joker too, where he's like Joker like references both his dead parents and Robin.
Yeah.
And finally Bruce is like, okay, well, when I was holding Harley in my arms, her dying wish was for me to kill you. And make no mistake, I will fucking kill you.
I love that, because not only does he say he's going to kill him, but he says, I'm going to fucking kill you.
So good.
And what I love about that future scene is like the parademons fly away, and then we see Cyborg come out, and so we see Cyborg show up, Flash shows up, Batman shows up, and then crap, what's the other guy?
Deathstroke's there.
Yeah, Deathstroke's there, because we do get after we get the scene with Deathstroke and Lex Luthor, and Deathstroke is that seems a little bit longer too, because he's like Luthor's has hired Deathstroke to kill Batman, and Deathstroke is doing it for free.
Yeah,
and because he's got a reason why he wants to fight and kill Batman, but he's doing it for free. And so then when we see Deathstroke in this future scene, it's like, okay, like kind of what's going on there, where he's there, and then of course then we see Joker. And he's also apparently a part of their team. Yeah, so, like, that team is being made up of them. It's like, that's kind of interesting.
Isn't there some, like, I know somebody asks Batman, like, are you sure it was a good idea to bring him? And what is it that he says? I think he says, like, what do you think? Or something like that, right?
He says something, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it's like they do ask him, like, you know, do you think it was a good idea to bring him?
Yeah.
But that really was kind of cool.
Yeah, I really, really liked Jared Leto's approach to the Joker there.
Yeah, of course he's a little bit different. He doesn't have like, well, you also talking about post-apocalyptic things, so he's just got like this smeared makeup, like stuff around his mouth. You've seen how he looks. He doesn't have like the damage tattooed on his forehead, but he also has a bunch of makeup on, so you don't know if that's covering up all the other stuff there.
Right.
He's still the same. It's Jared Leto, so he's still the same Suicide Squad Joker, but in a different situation.
Yeah. It's like a different context in which to see him.
So that was really cool. I like that whole thing. Again, it makes me want to see more of like what happens next in the future and all that stuff, which we're not going to get.
That's what's so disappointing about it, is that like They set it up to have so much more in the future, and barring a miracle, it's just never going to happen. So,
and that hurts. I mean, it really does.
It does. Now, there are a couple things I do want to criticize with it. Which, I mean, I've already complained about the Omega beams. I think that's a valid criticism. Although I don't typically mind the slow motion stuff for the most part. What gets me is more about, like, the sound balancing and the soundtrack and the way it's handled. Every time Wonder Woman does anything, it's not that it goes in slow motion, it's that it goes in slow motion and it does her theme, which is that one, like, trilling voice going, oh, every time. Yeah, and, like, the 8th or 9th time it gets a little bit old, that's all I'm saying.
See...
I mean, I get wanting to, like, really emphasize a character having a theme, and I think that's a good tradition musically, that, like, each character has their theme. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody in Lord of the Rings had their own theme music that would play at some point or another, if I'm remembering right.
Well, you know what they said in at the end, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Every good hero should have some.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like it's overdone, that, like, every time she does something cool, and it's fine, Wonder Woman's a cool character, she's powerful and sexy and blah, 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 blah. But man, that theme music is really, really overdone in my mind.
I'm trying to think, things that I would be critical of.
I mean, the thing we complain most about is a little bit petty, but...
What was that?
The end credits music.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They play a lot of Leonard Cohen throughout the movie. Apparently Zack Snyder's a big Leonard Cohen fan, which is totally fine. I think he's great. But then at the end, there's doing a really nice soft piano cover of Hallelujah, and it's like, oh yeah, this is really nice. And then somebody starts singing, and it ain't no Leonard Cohen,
no,
and it's just vibrato Ella, the vibrating singer, and it's terrible. And I've never before last night heard a cover of that song that I just couldn't stand. But
yeah, that one was not good.
God, she pulled it off somehow.
Who was? And Carla Gugino
yeah.
has a voice in it, which I saw in the credits. The credits are done really well too. There's no fanfare. It's just like credits, which I knew was well done about that. It was somber like everything else. But yeah, Carla did the voice of.
Took it really seriously.
I think it was Ship, like Ship that talked or whatever. She did the voice of it.
Yeah.
But there was just like minor things in the movie that I liked, and I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that I didn't like. There was a line that Steppenwolf says when he's interrogating the prisoners, when he's trying to figure out where the mother box is. All the people that they kidnapped that had come in contact with the mother box, says he can't find the third one, which is the one that Cyborg and his dad had. And there's a scene where he buries that at his mom's grave.
Yeah.
And I hate stuff like this. And I get, because we're talking about a visual medium, that you have to do these kind of things, but like, do your show and then carry it on. So he gets to the grave and he's got the mother box in a duffel bag. Mm-hmm. He digs a small hole, and you made a comment, you're like, does everybody just dig like holes, like 6 inches deep? That's like, right. Dig a real hole. So he digs a hole that's barely big enough for the duffel bag. He unzips the duffel bag, and we see that there's a mother box inside, and I think it's in like plastic or something. Then he takes it and he puts it in the hole. I'm like, okay, I get you when you need to show the audience what's in the bag, but now zip it back up. Like, either take it out and then put it in the ground and take the bag home, or zip it back up. But they just put it in there in the open bag. I'm like, hey, that's...
Yeah. He left the bag unzipped, but left it in the bag and put it in there.
Right.
But yeah, nobody ever dug a deep enough hole throughout the entire movie.
And you're only showing it to me, to the audience, so I can see what's in there, because you don't need to know what's in there. You need to double check and be like, wait, did I bring the bag? Or have we? And it's like, oh shit, this is McDonald's. I was supposed to take I gave the people the wrong thing. Like, no, you know what's in the bag already. You don't need to show it. Steppenwolf is interrogating the people. And the one guy says, I have a family, and Steppenwolf says something to him.
I got one too.
In the Sweden version, he says, why do people keep telling me that? Which I always thought was great. Like, I'm not going to show you any mercy. I'm like, what a shit. I kidnapped you with my flying demons. You didn't think I give a fuck whether you had a family? If that was a concern of mine, I would ask you beforehand. Be like, hey, you have a family because we plan on kidnapping you.
I like the idea of a paranormal demon monster who has to let his victims go if they have a family. It's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Here, Throgmore, let the man go. He has a family.
Here's the bad thing is, it's like, do you have a family? And it's like, and you think back, you're like, shit, I definitely got the girl pregnant. I know I did. And it's like, but I never want to acknowledge it because she was such a bitch, and I don't want to, but if I say yes, then I don't have to go with this demon. But if I say no, like, family, yes or no? No. Take me away. Which say your name was? Calgon?
It's like, if I tell you yes, you won't tell anybody, right? It's like, no, if you have family, you must declare it to the heavens. The world must know of your family. It's like,
And you get to heaven, and then God's like, let him go. Like, he has a family. No, I don't. He has a family. He got this girl pregnant in college. No, that wasn't. I don't even know that girl.
Well, it wasn't me. It was somebody who looked like me.
Yeah.
You better not kidnap that guy.
Yeah. It's like, come with me. He starts trying to pull him away. It's like, no, isn't lying to God ascension to be down here anyway? Like, no, stop! I hate her. So, Cyborg in this movie, they did a really good job of fleshing Cyborg out. I keep saying flesh out. Well, of like roboting him out. But one of my major gripes, and it's not just with this movie, because obviously it goes back to Sweden, is, I've got to save my son. Okay, first off, I don't even know how your fucking son's alive.
Right.
Okay? He is like from the rib cage up, a head and an arm. That's it. And not even most of a left arm. It's stumped at the shoulder, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, and he's got like...
It's that damn truck driver.
Yeah, I know. He's got no stomach, no intestines. He really is lungs, heart, rib cage, head, and right arm. That's it. What are you saying? How is he even fucking alive? Like, I swear, when I saw like Cyborg, like all of a sudden in my ears, sometimes you just get a sudden ringing in your ears. You don't know what it's from.
Yeah. Like
when I saw Cyborg, all of a sudden I heard this. I was like, what is that? It was Ripley trying to crawl out of his grave. He was like, oh my God. It's like, this is the kind of shit I need to have in my sideshow attraction. It's like, see the guy who's just a head, rib cage, and an arm, and he's still alive. Like, no, he's not. Like, I don't know how Cyborg was still alive with that little, like, of a body left.
There's really no way he could have been in real life, I don't think.
Because he can't eat anything, because he's got no digestive system, so he can't get any nourishment. I mean, the only good thing is that his heart only has to beat like once a minute, because like the blood didn't have to go anywhere. He's not sending blood through his entire body. If his heart beat like a regular person, right, then he would just be like overloading the rest of his body with blood. He would be like the Flash, because it's like, I gotta work off this extra blood. He'd just be hopping around his arms just all over the place, like a head on a pogo stick. So
it's like that line from the Weird Al song Albuquerque. He's like, now he has a really cute nickname, Torso Boy. What's he so upset about?
I told you about the scene in Kids, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the one that makes me laugh and I shouldn't laugh, and I feel like a horrible person when I laugh. The guy with his that cup of chains that, I have no legs. I have no legs. I'm like, I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is. Oh God. I mean, I don't even know why I'm trying to apologize. I already know I'm going to hell for all the other shit we've said. So, I mean, it's a little too late now. Deathbed confessions don't work for me. I know, like, if I don't die suddenly, like, I won't be able to have a deathbed confessions. I will suddenly find myself mute for some reason. And he'd be like, God, I'd be like, huh? What? What's going on? No. I was watching these people over here. Oh, what's going on over there? But yeah, Cyborg, like, okay, what did you save? I mean, like, really? Anyway.
That's the ever classic quality of life discussion, where it's like he didn't know that he was going to use the mother box to make a robot body for his kid.
But I'm just wondering, how was that much of him still alive though? Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it's possible. It's weird.
Yeah. So Cyborg, when we see him in the hospital when his dad comes to visit him after the accident, which I'm going to get to, when we see him in the hospital after the accident, and when we see him when the mother box builds his body. His head is for the most part fine, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
So why, as a robot, is half his face covered in metal?
Yeah. It's a good question.
Now, one of the things we see when the mother box is like forming his body is that it does take over a lot more flesh than it needs to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It doesn't just, and it may be because like, again, like he doesn't have a digestive system and all that stuff. So it's not just a matter of just connecting your human fleshy parts to my new robot synth. Is like, I've got to make it work somehow. So I've got to take over more than what you would think in order to make all this stuff work.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have, like, in the movie, he really technically only is a head.
Yeah.
Because when we see his neck is all robotic. Both of his arms are robotic. So even that arm they saved, it was almost like Bob Morton from RoboCop came in and is like, I thought we agreed on total body prosthesis, not lose the arm, right? I mean, and so he really is just, he's not even, and the mother box took over like half his face too. So, I mean, in the end, like his dad really kind of fucked him over, not knowing that, but
a little bit.
But he did turn him into a badass robot.
He did.
So, Cyborg's being all fucking Moby emo and like, oh, I'm a robot. Like, I can stream everything for free and I don't have to worry about cutting the cable. It's like, there's no limits. They give him a little background. They show him like the football scene.
Yeah.
Where he's playing football and there's got some slow motion in the air. The cinematography in that is beautiful.
That was really well shot. But I lost all respect for him when he started crying.
Yeah.
That was that moment where we were both like, come on!
Don't be a puss, dude. So,
like, oh yeah, I'm the quarterback. I do nothing but crush cheerleader pussy. My dad!
Daddy didn't come again. Like, I mean, you should. Why would you be even expecting it? Like, he hasn't shown up for any of the games. Like, why would you expect him to show up this time?
Right?
He promised. Oh, he didn't promise those other times. So he promised then too. Then you should, like, grow up here.
You got a precedent here.
I hope that the mother box finally gave him some balls. Nerf is like, no,
espresso.
I must remake you the same way you were before. Sans testicles.
And that's why he's got the Ken doll smooth nothing down there.
Yeah. And Cyborg does have some bony ass legs too.
He does.
I'm just saying he needs the computer leg day.
Computer leg.
So, but them doing all that, and then we don't really know exactly what happens, but apparently he and his mom are in a car accident because they're driving, and all of a sudden, like bam, like screeching and lights, and bam. Well, in the beginning of the movie, when we see like the Flash kind of like not origin, but when we see like the day in the life of the Flash and trying to get a job and shit, there's a guy driving a semi, and the semi says it's like a grocery store or a farm or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And it says Gardner Fox on the side, which is the guy that created Justice League. And so it's kind of cool to see that on there. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to eat the sandwich. I thought it was going to be a Big Belly burger, but it wasn't. It wasn't a Big Kahuna burger. It was like something else. But
it was some kind of burger.
Yeah, but he drops his like, his burger, and he's trying to reach down while driving the semi and pick it up, and he's like fumbling trying to grab this thing, and apparently this burger must have like part crack in it or something. I don't know, but he's trying like hell to like get this burger off the floor so he can eat it off this dirty ass like truck driver like floor.
Gross ass, nasty ass truck driving floor.
Yeah. At the same time that Iris West Iris, yeah, not Iris, shit. Iris. West is trying to leave. Even she doesn't have a name, but that's who she's supposed to be. Iris is trying to leave from where the Flash was, and she gets hit by the semi. And that's when he runs out there and saves her and all that stuff. Does not try to do anything to save the truck driver, though.
Nope. Fuck that guy.
Even though he has no idea what caused the truck to crash. But the truck didn't seem to be as much damage to the car, which exploded, which I wasn't expecting at all.
No.
And so when the cyborg and his mom get hit by a car, we assume it's by a car, we just assumed it was the same truck driver who can't hold on to a sandwich for like the life of him.
Drove through time, still trying to get that damn burger.
And that's why I just started laughing earlier when I was like, it's like that damn truck driver. He's like, I don't know how many heroes he's created, but it's like
yeah, the follow up to that scene after he crashes the girl's car, he keeps driving and the back of the truck flaps open and the chemicals spill out. Blind the Daredevil and spill into the sewers and create the Ninja Turtles.
He's like, man, I don't know what's going on today. So,
his truck is what killed Bruce Wayne's parents. And Uncle Ben.
Yeah, the guy had the gun on him, but he wasn't planning on shooting until the truck like the back of the truck like, hits him, and he's like, oh, and the reflex, and bam, it's like, well, shit, I guess I gotta shoot them both now.
That's the untold story. Is he's like the guy holding him up is like, you know what? I'll let you guys go. You gave me the pearl necklace, you gave me your wallets, I'll let you guys go. And then the truck's just like, smashes his parents.
Yeah, Bruce doesn't remember that part. He just remembers the gun. Doesn't remember the truck. It's like, no, I can't. Just give him the necklace, Martha. Just give him the necklace. I can't. And it's like, but you gave me this pearl necklace. Don't worry, I'll give you another one tonight. What? I mean, he's rich. I mean,
Yeah,
sure
you can afford it.
he can find an all-night jeweler. What? I'm not being sexual.
No, definitely not.
So we can see a lot of that, but then his father keeps trying to talk to him and work with him. There's a scene in Whedon's cut where he says he talks to his dad and says something about you don't want them to see like the monster, and he goes, Vic, you're not a monster, and he goes, it's funny, you thought that I was talking about me, which is kind of it's an interesting line of dialogue, but like how is again saving your life? How does that make me a monster? How does saving you're an ungrateful piece of shit?
Yeah, it's like he just wants to chill in the bed like the kid from Titanica.
Right. And I was like,
no, let it breathe.
Yeah, it's like Cyborg's laying in bed and going, Brian Wilson ain't got nothing on me. So, his father tells him and leaves him his like tape recorder and says, there's so many things that you're capable of, and you can do this and you can do that. And we see him actually go and practice, like flying.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. We see him practice that, and he does it on the roof, not in the house where he's going to set shit on fire. And the one part that was weird that we both talked about was he tells it, and his dad actually said something really, really cool, which is he's like, there's so many things you can do, and it's like, and the power is not like what you can do. It's having the power to not do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he kind of like gets into the like all the financial records of the world, and for some reason he just zeroes in this one woman, which we have no idea why. And he's kind of like stalking her, like she's a waitress, and he's like watching her on the cameras, and then he follows her to this, and then again basically gets her killed trying to do like this whole like Good Samaritan thing where he takes a bunch of money and puts it in her account, and then like the ATM says you won like the Gotham National Bank like lottery, and her account goes from like $17 to like $117,000 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's all well and good, but first off, whole bank error in your favor thing, that doesn't really work. I mean, the bank's going to notice all of a sudden you have a bunch of money that just showed up in your account from nowhere. Like, because all he does is just manipulate the ones and zeros, but it doesn't actually show money being put into the account. So when the bank looks at that and says, we don't see where this money came from, like you didn't cash a check, you didn't bring it in, it wasn't transferred in, more likely they're going to take that money back out.
Right.
Or if he did transfer it from someone else, then that person's going to be looking for it. Like, those are the kind of things where it looks like you did a good deed, but really you just really fucked this person over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shows him growing the money pile, so I guess it's supposed to be that, he's like putting the money in there, but it's like, you can't just create money.
Right.
So it had to come from somewhere.
So, and again, I don't know why he picked this one particular person that he stalked and followed.
I think it's because she had, like, the smallest pile of money, because he's looking at all these visual representations of people's savings accounts, and apparently everybody in Gotham was rich but her, and it's like, she had $11 in her savings account, so I'm going to help her.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that, at least with me, I have a savings account, I have a checking account, and with my savings account, it has to have a minimum of $25 in there.
Right.
So unless I'm going to close my account out, I can't take out anything that's going to make the balance go below $25.
Right. Yeah.
So her having like only like $11, $17 in her account, I mean that's just a bit of a technicality thing, but yeah, no. So that was interesting. We see him like kind of, what he can get into as far as the internet and accessing accounts and hacking into this, hacking into that. There's no scene where he's watching Bruce and Wonder Woman like walking by the lake and stuff because, which I thought was kind of interesting. He's watching them as they're talking about putting the team together, and then when Wonder Woman and he meet in the Sweden version, she's like, if I wanted to kill you, I would have done it by the lake, which means that she knew that he was watching him the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
A completely unnecessary scene. I mean, really, if you take it out, which we did take it out in the Zack Snyder cut, it doesn't really add anything to it. So you're not really missing anything by taking out the fact he was watching him. But we do see more of him as a person grow, and then his interaction with his dad grows, and it's really kind of it's much better. I don't hate Cyborg in this version of the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I will say what I said last night, which is literally nobody would have been upset if they made him a little bit more like the way he is in Teen Titans.
Yeah, with a little booyah.
Yeah, just like give him some kind of fun-loving nature. He's still nothing but emo in this, and I don't hate him either anymore. The Snyder Cut definitely saved the way they present him, and they at least give him like an opportunity for growth and stuff. But I don't think anybody would have been upset if like he made like if they just showed like a clip of him eating a plate of waffles or something. Just something to be like, yeah, this guy can have a little bit of fun.
I think that would come next, now that he's starting to get more comfortable with his body.
Yeah,
and who he is. The part where they dig up Superman's body, they do, like, Flash actually says, I could do this all by myself in a matter of seconds, but I think he said something about he thought it'd be disrespectful.
Yeah.
But they're not the only ones there. They're digging up the body, but Wonder Woman and Aquaman are also there too. So that was kind of interesting to have them all there instead of just those two.
Mm-hmm.
Cyborg did, I'm trying to think, he did something, oh shit, I can't, the extra arms.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Yeah, he just, when he's like in a couple scenes, he like grows or like forms these extra arms that come out to fight with him and stuff, which is kind of badass.
Yeah.
So they did a really good job of making everybody work together and really making you understand like who they were. And it's a long movie. I didn't really feel it. I was kind of starting to drift off, but just because it'd been a long day for me. But it wasn't because I was bored in any way. The movie moves along at a really good pace.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, has their part in it, and it works well. And then the fight scene at the end with Steppenwolf and them and his armor and then Superman coming back.
Oh yeah.
All that was really good.
There was no point where I was bored with it. Like no. I remember at one point we had to pause and it was like, wow, it's already 2 hours, 20 minutes in. Oh yeah, and I do want to address, because we were saying, the ending of the original was stupid.
Yeah.
And, like, for those who haven't seen the original, which I can't imagine why you would, it's like, oh, I didn't watch it when it came out, but now that there's a 4-hour cut, I'll give it a chance. But, like, the ending of the original is that, like, nobody really does anything, and then Wonder Woman happens to break his sword, and that makes him scared, and the parademons live off of fear, so they eat him.
Yeah.
It's just fucking stupid. And it makes me mad. It's just stupid. But then, like, Superman actually kicks the shit out of him. Superman does most of the fighting, which is the way it's supposed to be, because that's the whole reason that they even brought him back, is that they're not strong enough without him.
Well, they do. Wonder Woman and Aquaman do a lot of the fighting.
They do.
And then Superman shows up, and then from that point on, it's like he really kind of dominates that fight scene.
It's a slaughter. He cuts off one of his horns, which is really cool. Just pummels the shit out of him. And he still doesn't land the killing blow, but it's not just some dumb arbitrary thing of like, oh, now Wonder Woman happens to break your sword. It's like they have teamwork there. Aquaman stabs him with the trident, and then Superman like punches him towards the portal, sending him back to Apocalypse, and as he flies by, Wonder Woman cuts his head off, which is pretty nice.
And his body lands in Apocalypse, in the throne room where Darkseid is standing there with Desaad and his army and Granny Goodness. And they're just kind of watching.
Yep.
And when the body comes through, it hits the ground, and we see like his head has been cut off and goes tumbling towards Darkseid. And Darkseid just steps on it and then crushes it. Yeah. It's like, holy shit.
It's like, fuck that guy. He didn't mean anything to me anyway.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
But it's, Yeah, I know there's there are parts that I'm leaving out, but again, it's just a 4-hour movie, so trying to like think back on everything that happened.
Yeah, we watched it at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so.
And we were making little comments too as we were watching it, just because it was, we were just having fun.
Yeah.
And even with our little comments, we were just kind of like, just having fun with, the scenes and stuff. None of that was to the point where we were like, we're really making fun of this movie because it's, I mean, just within the first hour, we were like, this is far superior to the other version. And I said the extended scenes on the way they kind of work with people. There's when they first encounter Superman, when he first comes back to life, they don't have that thing with Aquaman where it's like, stop acting that way or whatever. It's like he's like I'm not acting right because he's not right. That whole thing that's not there. They do that thing where Cyborg can't control his body and stuff, but anyway, it's and they drop there's little hints to like the guy that's going to become like the Atom, and little things like that. They kind of were peppering in there as like a formation of the Justice League and more members and stuff.
Several Green Lantern references, and so that was pretty cool.
So all in all, I mean, it really was well done.
Yeah,
really liked all the additions to it. I can't say enough about Steppenwolf's, like his armor is just so badass.
That was so well done. Yeah.
And I mean, for Batman still shines. And Batman does a lot of cool ass stuff in this movie too. And Batman was not trying to sacrifice himself in this movie like he was in the Sweden version, where he was like, I mean, you kind of get the impression he might, because he says things like, no matter what happens, you guys continue on with the mission. But it wasn't that where he was like, he's going to sacrifice himself to free us. And then they all show up to help him and stuff. Now, everyone plays their part. They play it well. And Aquaman gets over carrying a girly trident. So that's always good.
I don't want to use that. It was my mom's. I can use my mom's trident. So yeah, and I will say, as much as I've bitched about Amber Heard being in the movie, that's not a legitimate criticism of the film.
Oh,
because that's not a reflection on Snyder's filmmaking ability. It's just a shitty choice in casting because she's a terrible person.
So one cool thing that they showed in this movie, which wasn't any others I'm aware of, is you see Amber Heard. So in Atlantis, the Atlantean race, you have to know Atlantean magic in order to be able to control the water and stuff.
Yeah.
Volko knows how to, and that's Willem Dafoe's character, and so does Mira. And so they're able to like control the water and like create separate it to create those little pockets of air so they can talk.
Yeah.
And they do it a couple times for them to be able to talk to one another. And then you realize that you see them like when they're not doing that, and they make fish noise. They make them in the water. That's how they communicate in water.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So it was like, that was really kind of cool to see, like, okay, I'm doing this so we can talk, with human speak. And but then otherwise they're just making this like noise, which was cool to kind of like hear and see all that stuff. And,
yeah. And there was one cool thing when like Steppenwolf was trying to get the mother box off of the pillar and he's swimming towards it, and so she creates the air bubble around him and just makes him fall like 3 stories and hit the ground. So and
then she like made the water come back and just like flooded down on him.
Yeah. So as much as I bitch about her being in the movie and she sucks as a person and I don't like her. But, that's not a reflection on Zack Snyder's directing. So I can't really say that that's a legitimate critique either. Any more than, like, Kevin Spacey being in Baby Driver is a critique of the movie. It's not.
I will say this, though. I'm not going to completely discount Amber Heard, because she's a very attractive woman.
She is.
And just putting it out there, right? Hypothetically, if one day in the future I become incontinent, I'm going to look her up. Because at that point, I'll be used to having shit in my bed, so it won't be a big deal.
Yeah, but if anybody but her puts the shit in the bed, then she's probably going to wind up cutting the tip of your finger off with a wine bottle.
I don't really drink that much wine.
The way she did Johnny Depp.
Well, I mean, at the same time, no, Johnny Depp was spending like $50,000 a month on wine.
You know, if I was making that kind of money as an actor, I would probably spend the same thing on scotch. I don't like wine that much, but
Oh shit! You know what? Come and think of it, maybe that wasn't his wine bill. Maybe that was her wine bill.
maybe.
Maybe he's like, oh, geez,
Maybe she just blamed it all on him like everything
It's
else.
like, oh god, it's like, she won't eat a damn thing, but she goes through $50,000 a month in wine. She's not a natural redhead. That's fucking wine. She drinks so much it just seeps out through her pores.
Yeah, we did have that conversation during the film. It's like, it's a shame that she's such a terrible person, because she is very pretty, and she can act.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Why do you think there's that deleted scene from Mad Max where Immortan Joe is like, he's like, oh thank God. He's like, if I found one more piece of shit in my bed, I swear to God. And I know I keep making that like the whole point of it, but it's just shit in my bed.
that would sure as fuck be a deal breaker for me.
Like, no, you don't put shit in my bed.
It's like, oh yeah, she like yells at me and keeps me up at night, and she's hit me and cut my fingers off a few times. That's that happens. We all have our bad days in relationships. You did what in my bed?
Yeah, I mean, how is that?
I better break up with her.
How is that a joke? I mean, just like
It's not a joke. It's not. If you think that's a joke, then you got a stupid sense of humor.
okay. So apparently he doesn't like the whole idea of like someone like putting shit in his bed. Okay, fine. So I did something else. Like, oh my God, there's a dead homeless man in my bed. Gotcha!
I'm pranked. Hey, what's up, everybody? Be sure to smash that like button. Today we're gonna prank Johnny Depp by putting shit in his bed.
You just got heard. Wait, what do you mean I'm canceled? Well, Amber, when you first came to us with an idea of doing a prank show, we thought, okay, great. I mean, you're a former model, you're an actress now, you're really pretty, and you want to do a prank show where most people probably would think that you would, have that kind of humor. We thought it'd be great, but the first 3 episodes were really good. Dead homeless person in the bed. We laughed. I laughed. I showed it to my mom. She laughed. My dad laughed too.
I laughed, I cried. It moved me, really.
But then when the 4th episode was also a dead homeless person, and the 5th, and the 6th, it's just like, well, I thought there were going to be different kind of pranks, like every, something different. Then the police started asking questions. So it's just going to be just better for all of us if we just part ways here.
Yeah, no, I can mix it up. I swear, I'll mix it up. Okay, everybody, welcome to today's episode of Get Heard. Today we're going to cut Johnny's finger off with a wine bottle. I've got the wine bottle here. All right. Johnny's here in the kitchen minding his own business. I'm just going to walk up behind him and just smash this on the end of his hand.
And now I'm going to take Tip's finger. I'm going to put it in the bed. Next to the dead homeless guy. Oh no! I think the dead homeless guy shit the bed. Like, oh shit! Look at this. Coming to MTV this summer. Amber Heard's prank show. Hey, wow! See, there's nothing that MTV won't put on there. That's great. Right after Jersey Shore.
So stupid. I have the worst ideas.
I'm sorry. Shit in somebody's bed is a practical joke.
I've never heard of Impractical Jokers. Okay, yeah, now shit in his bed.
That's the thing, like, no matter what they send her out on assignment to do, like, that's not what you're supposed to do. You were supposed to go to the restaurant. Like, I don't understand.
Like, no, you were supposed to eat lawn clippings in the restaurant. Why are you shitting on the booth? Amber, stop.
Trust me, this is funnier. It's okay, I'm a supermodel. Now she shits in the booth. She goes in the back and grabs like 4 bottles of wine, goes walking out the door. Excuse me, ma'am. It's like, You can't take that wine. It's like, it's okay. There's a big pile of shit over there for you. You just got heard.
So we've been going for like 2 hours.
Oh, man.
So we got a good two-parter out of this. And I think we're ending on a really good note.
Yeah. I don't think we could go any further. With the,
I mean, where else can you go besides Amber Heard?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch this again sometime this week. And just to pick up on some more of the little things. And again, seeing everybody really kind of get their turn and kind of develop the character for them.
Yeah.
Like even Cyborg, he's not as pussy and bitchy and whiny, and he really starts to really lean into being a cyborg and all that. And there was the one scene where when they go to revive Superman.
Yep.
And Aquaman starts having second thoughts, and he says something, and you and I weren't sure if he said go or if he said no.
Yep.
And when I watch it again, I'm going to listen a little more carefully, but I think it being ambiguous like that really kind of does something for the plot too, where it's like everyone's kind of all for it. There's no part where one woman's like, I don't think we should do this or whatever. But I do miss the scene where in the Sweden cut where Bruce calls her out with like, oh, what did Steve Trevor, did you get that from him?
Oh,
and then she slams him, pushes him but I mean, again, he has a really nice point in that part, which is like, you disappeared on us for years. You let all kinds of atrocities happen. And then there was that weird shit that happened in 1984, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around say what? But you let all stuff go by just because of one man. One man. I mean, I get it. It was your first time having sex, and it was probably the best thing ever. But yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I still have issues with that.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
So,
but yeah, so that was our very, very disheveled, disorganized review of the film. We liked it.
That's how we do.
That is how we do. You know how we be. So in closing, if you are one of the actresses who played the Amazonians with the hammers, call us.
Oh yeah, or just even any of the ones that were there, the ones shooting the bows, riding the horses. I mean,
they were all good, but I mean, those abs.
Oh yeah,
abs for days.
The hammer chicks were just definitely the best.
Yeah, so definitely call us, slide into our DMs, text us, something.
You definitely come over to my house. We can play Hammer House of Horror. You know what I mean? Saying yo. So
I've been Acomi.
Yeah, my name is Turk182. And
thanks for listening to us.
And, obviously we gave us a very favorable review, but check out the, I'm not going to call it the Zack Snyder cut. That's what it's labeled as. It's being called the Zack Snyder cut. I'm going to just call it Justice League.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
This is like Justice League Prime. This is just like the true Justice League.
Right. That other thing it's good for a larf, but, but now that I've seen, now it's like, when you buy a really good pair of shoes from Payless or Shoe Warehouse or whatever, these are really nice, and then you put on a pair of Nikes, no, yeah, these now those are good, and I don't mind wearing those when I'm cutting grass. I'm just gonna it's raining outside and I'm gonna just make a quick trip to the store. I'll wear those ones I got from the shoe wholesaler, but if I really want to enjoy myself walking around, I'm going to put on these Nikes,
Yeah. I would compare it to ramen. You can get the 30-cent Maruchan stuff, and it's good.
Yeah.
And, if you got the munchies, it'll get the job done. But when you go to, a dope-ass ramen joint, up in Bethesda, there's just no going back.
Yep.
It's wow, yeah, no, this is what you want when you want to have a good dinner.
Yeah, exactly. It's when I want to eat and not just have a full belly, but enjoy what I put in my mouth, right? That's what she said. That's a really good analogy.
So yeah. So hey, check out some of our other movie reviews. We have You Should Watch, You Shouldn't Watch, all kinds of stuff. And check out some of our Let's Watches where you can hear us review shit live.
And of course, I mean, obviously, if you do happen to stumble upon this podcast for some weird, bizarre-ass reason, Zack Snyder, yeah, you're always welcome on this show. We can talk about anything. Actually, if Zack Snyder came on this show, I wouldn't want to talk about Watchmen. I wouldn't want to talk about 300, Dawn of the Dead, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League. I'd want to just talk comics with him.
Yeah.
The guy is a true comic book fan.
Yeah.
I'd want to talk comics with him.
I would just want to get the phone number of those hammer chicks.
You're going to have Zack Snyder come on the show just so you can get the phone number of the Hammer Girls. Man, I didn't take advantage of the fact that he's on the show. Be like, okay, here's our chance to really talk to him. Like, no, it's like, yeah. So if you can give me that number there, and so everybody that was Zack Snyder, but like, I didn't say anything.
I think this was a 3-minute episode. Yeah, well, I got some phone calls to make.
And be like, hey, look, just give me those 10 numbers. That's all I need. I don't even care what order you put them in. I will find it out. I'll be like a fucking Da Vinci Code. I will create my own fucking Turing device to figure this thing out. So, but yeah. All right.
Well, bye everybody.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.